So, I think life is like this. I just wanted to check in and share something, but like, I literally just had the magazine Review S Michigan that already has been so kind to me by printing a full-page article about my creative journey the last 4 years. They just posted, like, on their Instagram a feature about my feature, and that's an amazing feeling. I feel really seen right now. And the reason I'm saying that is because less than 30 minutes before that, I was reading about a business in my adopted hometown that I had been recently feeling much better about in terms of a balance of the more known conservative views, but also some progressive views here. I had been feeling so much better about it, and then this business that I love, like, just went crazy and posted a rant that made no sense at all. And they supported things that don't make sense, and they said some really inflammatory stuff. And even if it was just a mistake and they meant to put it on their personal page, not their business page, it just, I'm not like surprised, but I'm like sad. It's like a grieving process, seeing people go crazy over politics. And there's a lot at stake. And so for that person to have chosen such a loud stance associated with his business, it just, like, I'm in mourning. Like, I really can't in good conscience tell people that I think that's a great place if that's the values of a person who runs it. So, like, and I had just posted earlier on Facebook that politics is not all that defines us, which is a very middle of the road thing. So I have had like a feeling of wanting to normalize the middle again, followed by an absolute high, followed by a genuine low, because I take things about the town that I live in very seriously, and I don't want to represent a place with my business or my time or my ethics. Yeah. So, I'm just sharing that because it's randomly like July 14th. I was just walking downtown to deposit some checks. I was just saying that, like, I am not just defined as a Democrat. I'm weird, I'm artistic, I'm probably autistic. I probably have so many different things about me that are not the same as other Democrats, and so do you, and so do Republicans, and that's just like something that used to be obvious and is not obvious right now. And so I was posting that to make my heart feel some peace and maybe ease one or two other hearts too. And it's just so messed up that the day I go to post that, this person who didn't need to make a stance, he could have just been a business, and people could have suspected those were his beliefs, but I mean, it was just a really, really, really mean-hearted, angry, sad, broken man-sounding kind of rant. I mean, pretty much threatening violence. That the only thing that's going to solve any of this is taking up arms, saying that he should write "White Lives Matter" in giant stencils all over the street. And it's just, I always worry about becoming tone deaf if I don't pay hyper close attention to everything always in social situations, and it's driven me mad, so I don't do that anymore. And I am probably becoming a little tone deaf to what my friends are thinking, or my acquaintances or distant acquaintances of acquaintances are thinking or feeling. And I know I'm maybe becoming a very specific and strange version of myself by checking out a little more, but I've had to for my mental health and my, I guess mental health, sanity, also just a sense of wisdom that that's what I need to be doing. But when I see something like that, I'm just like, how, I don't know. I do understand breaks, like not psychotic breaks necessarily, but like a mental break, like a person who's used to managing by rigidly defining and controlling themselves in this current world and atmosphere is putting pressure on people like that and asking them to be a little more adaptable, a little more flexible, and a little more willing to consider other viewpoints. And at a certain point, you put enough pressure on somebody, and that might be what happens. And see, I turned this on because I wanted to be excited about my little silly article, and I wanted to talk about how you too can create creative solutions for your life, and nobody or not that many people may really validate you, at least not in a daily way or in a monetary way or in a regular way of any kind, you know, and then one random moment you might get some 15 minutes of fame. So thank you, Review West Michigan. That's what I wanted this video to be about, but I think what I'm experiencing today is a reminder that life isn't what we want it to be about. Like, life is about what it's actually about. So today is not about my little happy article being shared. Today is a little about that and a little about a lot of other things. And for other people, you know, I've heard of whole bands that didn't succeed. One of them is a West Michigan band that didn't succeed because their album release that had been in the work for years, like lined up with, well, in this case, it's a very tragic thing, lined up with the same week that 9/11 happened. And so obviously you can't recover financially from that. I think they still released it, but much later. And who knows what that does to momentum in such a fickle field, such a timing-related field. Anyway, this is a tree. I suppose I could take my mask off now that there's literally nobody around, but I just got the notification yesterday that masks should be worn. This is a Michigan thing, but Governor Whitmer sent out an emergency alert that masks should be worn, or must be worn, in all indoor spaces and any crowded outdoor spaces. And I don't like it. I didn't wear mine when I first left my house, because I don't live somewhere crowded, like you don't see a soul anywhere around here. But at the same time, but then when I got closer to downtown, I mean, it's a very tiny downtown, but it is tourism season. I didn't really see many people, but still just put it on because you have to. I mean, here's the thing. You don't have to, but you have to. I don't know how to teach kind-hearted obedience to people that are so... I mean, I'm clearly independent. I don't like to have to be obedient to anything. But the thing is, like, we're all hearing different news right now. So maybe the reason this feels crazy to you is because maybe you're hearing news that makes you think that this isn't real. But, like, it is real, and even if you're on a side that's different than me, if you could understand that the side that I'm on believes it's real, if you could at least go to that, then you could at least get rid of your anger. Because, like, it's not like this is something we're doing to each other. Like, if you're on the side that believes that COVID-19 isn't real, then you don't have to, but I would recommend for your mental health that you at least, because this is what I had to do with not understanding Trump supporters. I just recommend that you at least understand that for other people it's very real. Even if you don't believe it's real. It would just be like a common courtesy thing. Even if you believe that COVID-19 isn't real, which I know we're seeing different media. I follow lots of different media on purpose to try to see what we're all seeing. I don't remember to do it all the time, but, like, even if you think it's not real, then the kindness in you would see this deeply dividing society and say, oh, but so that this doesn't escalate, or so that we're all loving each other or being kind. I don't know. Maybe we're both arguing the exact same points to each other, because you would probably say the same thing about like protests for Black Lives Matter. Like, how could you not just accept that this is how things are and move forward from here? I'm guessing you might think about anyone who maybe would want reparations or other considerations and ways of balancing the playbook. Playbook, I don't even know what playbooks are. Something in sports. Balancing the playing field, I guess I was trying to say, but I don't really know about playing fields either. I guess what I'm trying to say is, on every single topic that you, meaning any you, anyone on any political side or none, any topic that you feel fiery about, there is a correlation on the other side using the same justification. I can't stop seeing them. I can't. And normally it's in the form of snarky memes. Like, oh sure, you wanted your business to pick and choose and deny people business when it was for gay rights, but now that it's for masks, now you're up in arms. Like, that's one meme. It's just, but now flip it the other way. I don't mean flip it the other way like I'm actually on the other, like everyone who watches my channel knows what side I'm on. All 7 of you who watch my channel know what side I'm on. I think 7 people have watched it. Or there's a couple people who watch things more than once. So it's probably just like 3. Right now I have 99 followers. I like to say that every so often because for a while it was like 60. And I just like to, you know. And sometimes people probably unfollow because what the heck is this? I need to start calling these episodes and then say a little bit about what they're about. Because I think what these are is like unscripted podcasts where I'm also showing you where I live. Or just where I'm visiting that day. Visual podcasts, I guess. Anyway, that's what's going on in history right now. It's a pretty heavy time. It's a pretty hard time to be alive and be an American and feel like you're being asked to become more polarized than you actually are in your bones. Like, I'm not a divisive person. I'm not even a decisive person. Like, I like to bridge things. That's part of who I am. That's where people pleasers and chameleons come from. But I had just said in a band camp that I released yesterday on my childhood best friend's birthday, Heather's, but it was really something I released on my sister's birthday. But the song Birdsong, if you go on my Bandcamp, go in the liner notes for the single Birdsong. It's got a picture of me from when I was like 3 years old playing piano and like hamming at the camera with headphones, giant headphones on, because I was really little. Anyway, I'm 4'11". But anyway, if you go on my Bandcamp, I wrote a really long, I don't know, just a sort of statement to go with Birdsong. Just click on it, and I'm basically saying I'm gonna stop telling the same poor me, victim, whatever story that I've always told. Yes, I was a people pleaser. Yes, I've been a chameleon. Yes, I'm not gonna be one anymore, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just kind of bored of that story. It's taken up many decades, and I think I have other stories to tell. So, but that said, I guess the only reason I mention people who maybe feel that way, even though I don't want to tell that story anymore, I believe that that is a story that is getting lost right now in history. That if you are an American who likes to be independent, who likes to be a moderate or hold the middle, or say you skew just a little bit one way or the other, or like, you know, you always hear about that growing up, like a fiscal conservative but a social progressive, things like that. Like, that was normal. Pre-2016, that was always normal. So American politics looks a certain way, maybe on the outside. Even in Obama era, even before that, Clinton era, all the Bushes. It's just like, it may look like we're very divided, but at the people level. And I've lived in Wisconsin, Chicago, New York City. Now I live in Michigan. multiple places in Wisconsin, like metro Milwaukee area, but then also, that's where I grew up, Racine. But then also like up north, Appleton for college. Lived in London for a few months, so that one's not related because that's not the US. But my point is, like, all these different places I've lived, and I don't think it's just because most of my friends have always been in the arts, or that I've always been around liberals. I don't think that's it, because I had cousins or aunts and uncles or people in my life who were on the conservative side of things, for sure. So I just think it just started really changing somewhere in the last decade, especially in the last 3.5 years, in a way that's like almost grotesquely painful to just be here and not have this be such a main focus. And that's probably why, so here, now I'm tying it back to the Review West Michigan article. That's probably the main reason why I made these challenges. And I didn't have them write about that because I'm a bridger. I like, my story is clearly more for people who are socially progressive, because what I've been saying with my life and with my time is be yourself, and not like I'm not that different from Donald Trump. Like, he's being himself on Twitter. He shouldn't be able to be himself on Twitter because he's supposed to be leading a country, and instead he's acting like a child. But like, and I don't even mean that with disrespect, even though I should give him a lot of disrespect. I just mean he's literally acting like a child with emotional wounds. But, and my reaction was to just flail my creativity all over the world then too, because I was like, well, then why am I blocked? What terrible thing am I going to put in the world compared to what he's putting in the world? So I stopped blocking myself, and I started being the fullness of what I really feel like I am. And I'm also holding back still. I could literally just do songwriting marathon days and just only write songs, and I don't know. Anyway, I bring that up to say that it was for political reasons that I made these 3.5 years of challenges. It was very much as a way to use all of the intensity that I felt swirling inside of me in a post-November 2016 era. And I announced the 365 songs in 365 days on Inauguration Day because I was in disbelief. And I ended the 3.5 years of challenges on Impeachment Day. So this is not non-political. And I had told myself I was allowed to be off the hook on Impeachment Day, even though people told me, you know, he's probably not going to get impeached, right? And I said, well, he did. History will show. He's one of only, 3 people ever who's been impeached. My work here is done. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do work. I just suddenly really wanted to jump for leaves. I'm really not by anybody anymore. So, squirrel. Alright, that's my message. That some days you're gonna have good things and bad things and moderate things all in one day. Some years you're gonna have good things, bad things, moderate things all in one year. Some decades maybe, same thing. I just feel like maybe I should say thank you, Donald Trump, because if you hadn't existed and upset the natural balance of how much you should or shouldn't express yourself freely by expressing such a, in my opinion, sort of grotesque viewpoint so uneditedly all over the internet, making so many people upset so constantly, requiring what felt like in my soul someone like me to learn to speak up way more than I ever have or would. Even though right now I'm just being an introvert, I'm walking down the street talking to myself to my phone. And people look at me occasionally, but it's okay. Gotten over that. It's been like 5 years since the first time that I tried playing a ukulele song in public and didn't feel like, not even imposter syndrome, like my whole soul felt like it was vibrating with like, oh my gosh, I can't be doing this right now, this is wrong. And now I'm talking to myself, look how far I've come. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't recommend doing this unless you want to be the weirdo in your town. But I think here's what I believe about reality. If you are the weirdo in your town, go ahead and be the weirdo in your town. But like most of what I am right now, I'm not trying to be like crazy and inflammatory and blame it all on Trump, but I kind of feel like most of what I am right now is a reaction to the intensity in our world, or at least our country right now. So I'll thank him. Thanks, Donald Trump. You changed the balance of what is normal. You changed, you so rocked the boat that someone like me had to jump off of it. Had to. The boat was a lie. The boat of sit down, have good manners, be quiet, don't talk too much, don't take up too much space, don't be too annoying, don't be too weird, don't be too anything. You changed that. And you didn't do it directly. You had the opposite effect of what you wanted to have. You thought that speaking up and denouncing people like me who maybe are a little overweight or a little bit too weird or a little bit not good at business enough or whatever I am that someone like you would not approve of, you thought, I'm assuming, you thought by shaming people like me and putting people like me down, putting down anybody that believes in equal rights or putting down anybody that does things differently, but not in the way you approve of. But like basically liberals, snowflakes, maybe I'm a snowflake. You thought by putting us down that you would make us get in our places. You thought you were bringing order back to the country by speaking out. You did the opposite. And someone can thank me someday and say the opposite same thing. I know I'm probably only adding to the problem. The weirder the world gets, the more people probably want to control it and order it. So I'm adding to the rocking of the boat. Although what I was hoping to do was just completely fly off the boat. So maybe I did that. And maybe we all can. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. The boat isn't real. Like, I really, really, really believe in Buddhism or Taoism or meditation or in my case, you know, or anyone's case who's Christian. I mean, it could just be like a homemade weird version of prayer and meditation. Like, I just talk to God all the time. It's not a big deal. I talk to God, I write songs, I listen for inspiration, I listen for some sort of like divine guidance. I don't know what I'm doing, and you don't have to know either. Be yourself. Yourself might piss some people off. Might really, 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 really upset some people. So tiptoe into it. Like slowly, slowly adapt to what does it feel like to feel ignored, to feel different. What does it feel like to do the thing I really want to do? Like, I just bent over outside of a mansion before I started this video and like smelled daisies like way down close to the ground. And there was a guy like working on a construction site like right across the street, and he saw me do it, and that's really weird. But I like the smell of daisies, so I wasn't gonna not do it just because he was there and he might see me. How does it affect my life that he might see me? He might send me some weird energy, like, you know, and I might sense that. Because contrary to popular belief, it's not just a new age thing to like sense people's energy. We've all been sensing people's energy since we were children. It's called being in school and you raise your hand and you got the answer wrong, and then you put your head down, but you can like feel them looking at you or feel them laughing at you. You don't have to hear it, you can feel it. It's called embarrassment. It might be projection, I don't know. But then same thing in that moment where I'm smelling the daisy. Then the thing that's making me uncomfortable is my own mind's awareness that someone might be watching me and judging me. But that's the thing to get over. Even if the entire human experience is inside of our own minds, then that's the thing to get over. That's the thing to start to fight. That's the thing to poke holes in. And when you poke the holes in, then imagine that the boat you've been in is like pitch black. and you're poking holes in it, and it's like making little star holes, and that's really cute. But maybe if you're underwater, it just lets water in and then you drown, which could be what's happening to me. But Review West Michigan didn't think so. They put up an article about me. Printed, you know what I mean. Anyway, when you're as weird as I am, being validated by a publication is a pretty big deal. So, hello. She waved at me. Well, I love this town. I'm not gonna let that one business owner spoil my day. I will say which one it is. I don't know how he'll recover from it. It's Pronto Pups. Best corn dogs. People come from all over, stand in insanely long lines. I haven't gone at all since COVID because one day I thought they were all 6 foot spaced, but another day I was like, they're kind of close to each other. It's probably not even the locals in those lines. It could be mostly tourists. People coming to our town and not caring at all for us being a town living here all the time and just wanting to be at the beach and treat our town like a playground and then go. And I'm sure that's what happens in Florida too. A lot of the like bad talk people have about Florida, it's like, well, is that Florida or is that tourism? And like, how can you criticize a place when a place is tourism based? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go because there's kids here. Not because I think they're judging me, but because I'm gonna cross the street and I would get really close to them and I don't want to make them uncomfortable YouTubing, like being like 2 feet from them. Also, I should put my mask back on and I need my hand to do it. So, all right. Hope you have a lovely day. And yeah, no parting words. That was a lot of words. Bye.